Should I wait to buy a used car this year?
It depends on which range you're looking at. So we have something coming up, and I talk about this a lot. But tax time is about 2 months away. Actually, not even that far now. It's a month and a half away now. And what happens in the cars that are like $15,000 and under, we get a big just pump. So all these tax refund checks come in, and people will spend them on the cheaper cars. They'll have down payments, or they can buy cars outright that are under $15,000. And dealers clear their lots, and then they have to rush to these auctions. And then the amounts that these cars go for are like 25-30% higher than what they normally are just in a given month and a half range. And this happens every single year. It has nothing to do with us still being in the crazy time. This happened even 2019 and prior to that. We would have this big spike during tax season, and a lot of people call it the spring selling season. You'll hear that from other dealers. But when these prices spike, they'll be elevated for that month and a half, 2 month period from February and on. And so if you're looking in that range, $15,000 and under, you want to try to be buying a car right now. But if you can wait 6 months or so, I think we're going to continue this downtrend that we're on right now, and just wait it out through tax time. You don't want to be a buyer during tax time. If you have a car to sell it during tax time, but you do not want to be a buyer of a car that's $15,000 or under from February, March, April. I don't want you to buy a car then. I don't want you to buy a car from me, because our prices, while we don't elevate our prices during tax time, we don't negotiate at all. So even if there's really that's something minor that's wrong with the car, we'll tell our customers, look, we're going to sell everything we have here. If you want to buy this car for this price, it's fine. If you don't want to buy it at this price, that's fine too, because there's going to be somebody coming right behind you into the door that's going to want to buy this car, and we'll clear out our lot in about a 10 to 20 day span. And we'll have, I'm hoping we're behind the eight ball right now because we're still selling cars, but I think we got 90 something cars right now.
93.
We have 93 cars today. I would love to have 150. We're probably not getting there, but if we have 130 something cars or whatever by the time tax time rolls in, we're going to sell all of them within a month. I mean, that's just what happens every year. Even with the last 2 years that we've had, tax checks have actually been lower, and they've been slower coming in because there's been payouts throughout the year. So the actual the tax bump that we got last year was not as big as what we usually see. But even then we still sold almost everything. So that's what I'm expecting this year. So under $15,000 range, if you can wait, I would rather you wait than bounce right now. But if you have to buy within the next couple months, you need to be looking and trying to purchase right now. But if it's always going to be, if you can wait as long as possible, because later on this year, I really think prices are going to just keep getting hammered like they have been over the last year.
Opinions on buying used hybrids. How many miles is too many? How many years is too old?
So we typically, when we're buying cars, we avoid hybrids. Now, a Prius, leave that as the outlier. We'll buy a Prius and fine with those. But what we found with the hybrids that we're buying, and these hybrids are usually, they have 150,000 miles. What we used to would try to buy, the batteries would always be on their last legs, and the batteries cost so much money that for our price range and for what we were buying, it didn't make it. It's never worth it for us to buy these hybrids, because if we've got to replace the battery in it, it's so expensive that we just end up never making money. So I stay away from hybrids. Now, if you're looking at hybrids that are just a few years old, then no problem. Especially if there's something that's got like 50,000 miles or less. I'm not scared of a hybrid. Now I'll go back to when I was saying the Prius. So we don't care how many miles a Prius has on. I don't know what Toyota has done differently than the rest of the OEMs, but a Prius hybrid battery lasts forever. We find Prius with 300,000, 400,000 miles still on their original battery, and it's crazy for me to think about. So so that would be the only exception that I would buy or even look at that's a little bit older and has more miles than like 50,000 miles. Now, I'm not an expert on hybrids by any means, but this is just what we do here at our shop, because the stuff that we buy, 150,000 miles and up usually, we've got to buy cars that we can sell for under $5,000. So when we get into that range with a hybrid, it's usually 10 years old, 150,000 miles. And at that point, for me personally, I'm going to stay away from a hybrid unless it's a Toyota Prius.
When do you think is the best time to purchase a used vehicle, 20,000 or higher?
Towards the end of this year, if you can wait that long. Now, if you're looking around right now, you probably don't have the luxury to wait that long. So even this range, there will be a little bump in that range of used cars during tax time. So I don't want you to be a buyer in February, March, and April. I don't want you to be a car buyer in those times. So if you can wait at least till the midpoint or end of summer this year, that's when you can start looking. But the longer you can wait after that, the better I think it's going to be. Even if the Fed later on this year, if they drop rates a little bit, I don't think they should, but if they do, then I really don't think we're going to have a bunch of buyers come into the market on the used side, especially in that range. So I think just the longer that you can wait towards the end of this year, the better deal you're going to get.
Do you think the price of diesel trucks will come down anytime soon?
I think they'll come down. I mean, they've been coming down, and they're going to continue to come down. I don't think tax time, because usually they're on the higher end of the spectrum of price. I don't think tax time is really going to affect them all that much. So the longer you wait, just like everything else in the market right now, all the other cars that we've been talking about, luxury end, the higher end, all that stuff's getting hammered right now because there's just the demand's so low. Prices are so high. Interest rates are too high for the amounts that dealers are trying to get for everything right now. And I don't think anything's going to change for a while. So we're going to just continue to be on this downtrend. Wait. If you can wait, you will get a better deal later than you can get right now.
Is CPO worth it? And that's
certified pre-owned. Yep. So when you're looking at certified pre-owned vehicles, a lot of times when they go through this certified process, I mean, it's the actual dealerships that are doing these inspections on the cars. They're those employees. No, I don't really think it's worth it. I think you can do your own homework on a car. You don't need to pay extra to have your car certified. What you need to do is, I would rather you even not even go through a dealer. So if you buy from an individual, there's no certified pre-owned process. You're not going to get any kind of certification on a car that someone else buys, but you're going to be able to get a better deal on a car from an individual. So in that case, I would say it's not worth it, because I would rather you try to find something from an individual that you're going to be able to know the history on it. You're going to be able to know how the car was maintained, how it was taken care of. And you get a little bit of a guarantee saying from the dealer that this is a good car. This is a good car right now. We did all these checks. Now it's good, but you can do this stuff yourself. You can take it to a mechanic. And I don't want you to pay extra because there's this little badge on the car at the dealership. I would rather you do the homework yourself, find a cheaper price, save some money, because I really feel like you can do this. You can do this on your own, and you don't have to have a dealer telling you that this is a good car. You can figure it out yourself.
Is a Mazda 2017? Sorry, I think this is a Mazda 5. Mazda 5, because I think I saw it in another comment.
Okay.
2017 with 110,000 miles, good at about $13,000.
2017. So the new Mazda 5s right now, I think they're in the mid to high 20s, if I'm not mistaken. So about 50% depreciation, 130,000 miles. I don't like the mileage being all the way up to 110. I think you should be able to find something with less mileage for that price point. But I don't think it's a terrible deal, but it still seems maybe just a little bit high. If you're looking at a dealership, you're probably not just paying $13,000 either. You're going to have your dock fee. You're going to have whatever else junk that they want to put on top of that. And if this is from an individual, though, and you know the history of the car, if you know how the car was maintained, at that point, I don't mind you actually paying a little bit more than what the car is worth, because you just have the security in knowing how the car was maintained and what's really going on with the car at the moment. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but you can get a better deal from an individual. But me personally, I actually don't mind you paying more from an individual than you would pay for a dealer for the same car. And the reason I say that is because you've got more knowledge on the car, especially if you know the actual person that you're buying it from. You can know the history, you can get the maintenance records on it, and you can know that it's a good car more easily. And you're going to have an easier time getting it checked out by your mechanic too if you're going through an individual, and you're not going to have all these junk fees. You're not going to have stuff that you're worried if the dealer's gouging you or anything like that. So so it's kind of counterintuitive, because you can get a better price from an individual from a dealer, but I actually would rather you buy from the individual than a dealer, even if it's going to cost you a little bit more, just because of the knowledge that you're going to gain with the car from the previous owner.
What's your opinion on the best long-lasting all-wheel drive compact SUV? Toyota, Mazda, Honda, or Subaru?
My answer is always, always, always going to be Toyota. If I'm posed with any question, posed, is that the right word? If I'm given the question of who do you want to buy from, Toyota, Nissan, Mazda, Ford, it doesn't matter who it is. It's always going to be Toyota. I feel like Toyota is the most reliable vehicle that you can buy. We have longevity, where we can see, I go to these auctions all the time, and there's one brand that we see all the time with 200, 300, 400,000 miles, and the car's still running great, and that's Toyota. And there's not even a close second. The second place I would say is Honda, but it's not close, because I would say I see way more Toyotas that reach that kind of mileage and are still running well and are not showing any kind of problems, even in their being 10 years old, 200,000 miles. They're still great cars. There's not a close second place. There is a second place, is Honda.
Okay.
But it's not close. Toyota.